In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can take control of the backup of your WordPress website and make sure that you have the backup file necessary if anything unfortunate should happen. So right now, let's go into my screen, and as you see, I have spun up a demo website here. Let's say I'm a coach, a yoga meditation coach, and I want to ensure that I have backups of my site safely with me. Now, I know that there are many hosting providers who do take backups, but it's always good that you also have control of your backup, just in case if you want to change your hosting server and you want to have all that data with you so that you can always take your data and go to anybody else. Okay, so let's see how we can take control of our own WordPress website data and take backups every day. So I am at this website front end. I'm going to the back end of the website, and I'm going to install a plugin. Now what I'm going to show you is a free plugin which lets you take everyday backups and also lets you offsite this backup to another location which is outside of your server. So we are going to search for WPVivid, and once you get it, please install and then activate it. So I have this installed and activated, and this is the main screen that we are up to here. Now the first thing that you want to do is go into settings, and let's decide first how many backups do you want to retain. So it's good to have at least 3, but the free version allows you to take about 7 days worth of backup or 7 backups to remain. After that, it will start erasing the previously saved backup. Now for my case, I have seen that 7 is enough, but if you would want to have more backups for your security, then you need to upgrade to the pro version of WPVivid. So let's keep it to 7 at the moment, and overall I don't think there is anything to be changed here. We can keep the default settings as it is, and let's scroll down and we can save changes. Alright, let's go back to the settings one more time. Let's go to advanced settings here. Now compress files every 200 MB. So I want to just show you the setting. Try with the default settings first, and if in case the default settings doesn't work, what I recommend you to do is reduce the 200 to 100, because the backup plugin depends a lot on the kind of server that you're using, and if you see that your server is hanging up or your backup is not performing as it should, reduce the file size and see what happens then. Then the PHP memory limit for backup is also important, because the data is going to be saved and it's going to use a lot of your server resources like your RAM and CPU. So if you do not have a very strong server, keep it to 256, but if you have a faster server, if you have more RAM capacity available, then you can increase this to 512 or 1024 depending on how much you have. Alright, but when you're starting off, just stick to the defaults and let's see what happens, and only come and play around with the advanced settings if the default settings do not work by themselves. So let's save the settings. And the next thing that you can do is you can have a remote storage, which means by default this plugin is going to save your backups on your server, but this is not the most ideal situation. There could be a possibility that your server is completely malfunctioning or your server is down, and if you decide to take your website and put it up on a different server, then if all your backup files are within that server, you will not be able to download them. So in order to keep a backup with you outside of your server, I recommend that you can connect either Google Drive, Dropbox, Amazon S3, or even FTP. For example, I use the BunnyNet integration, and then on the BunnyNet, when I have a storage formed, I can actually get the BunnyNet's FTP address. I can just put it in, and all the backups that I take is automatically offloaded to BunnyNet. Similarly, you can also have an Amazon S3. You can offload your backups to Amazon S3. Now they have documentation for all of this, so you can click on the documentation, how to get your Amazon S3 access key, secret key, or the best case and very easy, you have the authenticate with Google Drive. So open up a free Google Drive account, a Gmail account, have your Google Drive, and then make sure that this authentication is done so that all your backups are automatically uploaded to Google Drive. Alright, so for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can backup and restore from your actual server itself. So once you have set up, if you have a remote storage, then you can decide where it's going to be saved. Like for example, if you have a Google Drive or an Amazon S3 account, then you can select that send backup to remote storage. If not, then for this case, I'm going to save it to the local server. So how do you want to backup? You should backup your entire website, which is the database plus the files. And once you do that, you just need to click the backup now button, and it will start backing up. Now, depending on the size of your WordPress files and size of your website itself, it's going to take somewhere between 1 minute to 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how big your database and your files are. So I'm going to pause this video now and let's see how long it takes. Alright, so the backup is done. It took about 45 seconds to clear the backup, but that is because this website is very small in size. It might take a bit longer depending on how big your website is. And as you see, these backups are, if it's saved on your server, it's going to show up here. You can also download this. Click on the download button and it's going to show the size of your backup, and you can just download onto your own personal computer or laptop. Okay, so that's one way of saving. So this thing you need to do every day so that you have a daily backup on your PC or your laptop. And if you have a remote storage connected, then you don't need to download this every day. It's automatically going to go into wherever your remote location is. Alright, so that was the part of backing up. Very easy, very simple, and this way you don't have to depend on your hosting provider to have your backups for you, and they can't hold you ransom, so you always have control of your data. And the next thing that you need to do is you want to create a backup schedule. So click on enable backup schedule here, and you can decide how frequent do you want your backups to be done. So in general, I recommend daily. If you have a lot more activity going on, then you should be sticking to 12 hours. And if you want even more or different frequency than that, then you have to upgrade to the pro version. Okay, and you can keep the default selected here, database plus files. And if you have a remote storage connected, then you can select this option and then decide on what remote storage. So right now it doesn't allow me because there is no storage configured. So I can only save on the local host, and what I can do is I've selected to daily. I can come here and save the changes, and now every day at the specified time it's going to automatically create a backup and save on my server. Okay, and let's also now try the restore option. So we have first of all created a manual backup. So if you want to create a manual backup, just click on the backup now button and you create a schedule so that automatic backups are done daily or 12 hours or weekly as you want. And then once you have the backups ready, you can also upload it, or if it's already present, you can click on the restore button, click on restore one more time. It says, are you sure to continue? Press OK, and a restore option is going to start off. So this process, once again, depending on the size of your website, is going to take some time. Now I'm going to pause this video, let this continue, and I'll show you what happens at the end. Alright, so that took about 35 seconds and the restore is done. So it says completed successfully. Let's OK it. Now it's going to refresh me back to the login screen, and I need to log in one more time. And there I am back, and my website would have been back to the original position. So test this out on a staging website, test this out on a test subdomain before you deploy this on your main server. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. WPVivid, I have been using it on my servers as well as my client server for a long time. Even the free version works very well. So I hope you find this useful, and if you need more functionality, upgrade to the pro version.